Team Keith Quinn and Grant Nisbet doing the play-by-play. Expert analyst Earl Curtin, and on the sideline, Andy Hayden.
Superb conditions for this game today. You can see it's a lovely day in Sydney. It is a superb stadium the game is to be played in, and any breeze that's about is deflected above the stadium by the angles of the roof of the stand, you can see. So conditions down on the floor will be good. A little higher as we bring in Earl Curtin, it might swirl a bit, but otherwise it's excellent conditions for this afternoon's game.
Yes, the great conditions, and in spite of what the Australians think, it'll suit New Zealand, the dry weather. I think New Zealand in recent years have played very much better in dry than the wet.
There's the New Zealand team. There are no new test caps, but one change from the second test against Argentina. Number 11 is left winger John Timu, who comes into the team with the withdrawal of Kieran Crowley from fullback. That means Terry Wright has his first test match as a fullback today. The rest of the backs are the familiar names of recent years with excellent kicking conditions, as I've said, for super boot Grant Fox, number 10. In the forwards, there's the grit and grunt of McDowell, Lowe and Fitzpatrick in the front row. The twin peaks in the second row, Gary Wetton and Ian Jones, and the speed, toughness and solidity in the back row of Zinzan Brook, Andy Earl, and of course the great one, Michael Jones. The team is captained again in his 51st test match today by Auckland's Gary Wetton.
And here's the Aussie team, the same as that which thrashed England here by 2 weeks ago by 40 points to 15. It's a big day for the pairing of Far Jones and Lynagh as they play together for the 35th time in a test match, equaling the record held by Roy Laidlaw and John Rutherford of Scotland. And a note, even though that he wears jersey 11, David Campese is on the right wing against John Timu. This is an Australian team which doesn't appear to have any weaknesses, and one playing at full capacity. The whole linchpin, though, is the strong, tough front row of Daly, Kearns and Mackenzie. And Nick Farr Jones leads Australia for the 23rd time today in a test match.
And just before the teams come out, in fact, here they come. Australia led by Nick Farr Jones. Hasn't played since that international against England. You can see he's got the cycling shorts underneath to protect possible hamstring career occurrence. But here they are, the Wallabies, onto the Sydney Football Stadium. There's the veteran of their team, Simon Poidevin, and he's playing his 53rd test match today. Gary Wetton has played 51, but there are two men on the field who've played more, Poidevin and this man, 28-year-old David Campese, who today, believe it or not, is playing his 57th test match. It's his last one in Australia, and the great Campo will no doubt like to finish with a rattle this afternoon.
And the interesting thing, Keith, is these guys are both playing their 19th test against New Zealand, which is far and away a record as we look at the All Blacks coming out down this famous tunnel here at the Sydney Football Stadium. And they get a good Sydney greeting as they come out led by their captain, Gary Wetton. Marvellous day, tension, excitement, anticipation here in Sydney.
Look at those black flags back in the stand, though, Grant. There's a ton of Kiwis here to give them good support.
The build-up has just been immense around Sydney, and it's marvellous. Here's Timu, who I think will have a big game today, in that he'll have to be fullback as well as wing three-quarter and help, obviously, Terry Wright out on defence. Very sure with a high ball, very brave winger. In fact, Keith, I'd like to see Timu swap from time to time with Kerwin, because the Australians, as you know, have taken Kerwin away from Campese, and I reckon psychologically strike the first blow, Kerwin should mark it, and I hope that they swap it round to do that.
But do you reckon they should do that, swap the positions over?
Exactly.
At
least for the first 5 minutes.
Well, that's interesting theory. Now they're going to line up here, and we're going to have the national anthem. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it's electric here in the Sydney Football Stadium. This is going to be as good as Test rugby gets. Now we have the national anthems. Goosebumps there. The playing of God Defend New Zealand and now Advance Australia fair. Well, they really give it heaps there on the national anthem, though, and that must be of great encouragement to Nick Farr-Jones. And I think he's just told the All Blacks which way he's playing. You see that little word there with Grant Fox. They kept it quiet, so they have to swap over.
He's had a little wee smile, wry smile at the end of it too. And I wonder if he was thinking it's the best I've ever heard the Australians sing the national anthem.
That's right. Well, Earl, do you think there's genuine uncertainty as to who's going to win this game today?
Well, the Australians definitely believe they'll win it, and they think they'll win it by 6. I think that New Zealand will win in the last 15 minutes, provided this referee doesn't give too many penalties to one side or the other. Early on in the first 20 minutes, he tends to referee the lineouts rigidly.
Down on the centre, the haka.
Well, the Australians gave their own national anthem a decent go, but the All Blacks gave that everything. A marvellous rendition of the haka.
You see the look on Sean Fitzpatrick's face there? That was truly a challenge, wasn't it? And there's today's referee, 46-year-old lawyer from Scotland, Ray Megson, who actually has spent a lot of time in Australia. He lived here for 13 years and has finally come back to Australia. He's got the Scottish accent and everything, but he was his father is an Australian. He lived here for 13 years, and he came back the other day and saw his father for the first time in 33 years. And there is Mount Rushmore himself, Alex Wiley, getting set for the game of a lifetime here today, as Grant Fox gets set to kick off this epic test match. The Bledisloe Cup is at stake over the 2 matches of the series. This is the first leg, the second leg to be played in Auckland, August the 24th. But so New Zealand can retain the club cup today if they win this afternoon. A quick look at the reserves. He's recovered from that injury that took him off the field at Brisbane the other day, Paul Henderson. He looks more nervous than some of the guys out on the field. It's a tense moment. It's exciting test match in store. One World of Sport brings it to you live. New Zealand against Australia for the Bledisloe Cup.
Okay, the build-up is all over. Let's go as Grant Fox gets us underway. The All Blacks have it quickly for Basham. Here is Little, straight out to win as Kerwin has an early run. Little ducks under a high one from Egerton. All Blacks in possession with Michael Jones here, opening it up early on. Here's Timu in the clear. John Timu having a go, and it's Craig Innes on Campese. And what a good start. Ball retention by the All Blacks. The Aussies haven't had a look at it yet, and the All Blacks have had a good feel of it, Earl Curtin.
Well, they spread it from side to side there. It was exactly the way I'd say they'd love to start. They wanted to start it. And now here they are down on the 22 almost, Australian territory. And this is where they need to be so as they don't get those early penalties given against them.
Phil Kearns to throw to this first line out. Number 4 up very high there was Rod McCall. And Lynagh brings it out. Not kicking on the left boot. Made a bit of a hash of it. All Blacks let it bounce. That's dangerous. Into the arms of Jason Little. 5 metres on the All Black side of halfway. Should come here for Farr-Jones, and does. Here's the kick from Tim Horan. Terry Wright inside his 22 and gets around to clear. The All Blacks let it bounce. And it was Terry Wright who had to clean it up.
Yeah, that was the early jitters. And I don't blame him, really. Anyone playing in his first game in a cauldron like this, would find that very difficult to pick up. But a wee bit of non-communication, really.
Tremendous tension at the Sydney Football Stadium. No score in the game yet. One for Gary Wetton. Now Fox inside the 22. It slipped off the side of his boot straight down to fullback Marty Roebuck. Roebuck on the chase. This will land 10 metres out from the 22 and Zinzan Brook claims. All Blacks a bit slow to get back. Assisting Brook. Ball taken in. Richard Lowe has it, and he well and truly has it cradled in the arms. The All Blacks start a rolling maul 5 metres out from their own 22. Still controlled.
Well, the battle's going to be in the forwards. Australia believe they can beat New Zealand up front. I don't.
Basham, little dart on the blind side. And Roebuck trying to keep it in the field of play. Good little run by Graham Basham as the All Blacks went the blind side. Marty Roebuck, in just his third test match, he's already made a big impression in the Australian side. Let's have a look at these line-out players. Simon Poitevin is at the back against Michael Jones. So New Zealand have certainly superiority in terms of jumping ability at the back of the line-out. Gary Wetton's won a couple down the front off Rod McCaw. Whistle's gone, though. And a penalty against the All Blacks. Referee Megson said pushing in that line-out. And here is an early opportunity for Michael Lynagh.
Well, this was always the worry. The referee's going to get what he says, stamp his own authority on the game the first 20 minutes. And line-outs are his long shot. This is where he spends a lot of time dishing them out.
Looks pretty relaxed, Grizz Wiley. He has been all week. He knows this is part one of a three-part story.
That's relaxed, Grant, is it? That look then. Boy, oh boy.
He doesn't look any different, does he?
That's right.
So Lynagh, Michael Lynagh. 607 test points.
The reason why he doesn't smile, though, you know, is really because that he doesn't want anyone to talk to him. And if he looks stern enough, it means no one's going to interrupt him. And the whole idea is, if you are a coach and a selector, as he is, that you've got to concentrate.
Here's Lynagh, 45 metres out. Not going to have the distance, or just drops underneath. Fox will have to clear quickly, and he does. Early let off for the All Blacks. Lynagh was a couple of inches short.
Now, this is a big line out. Can New Zealand win it? This is psychological advantage #1 if they can.
No score in the game, 4 minutes gone.
Richard Lowe was out. Zinzan Brook was out, but now they're coming back in of this lineup. There's Tim Gavin. There's Lowe. Behind him, Ian Jones. Rod McCall with the sweatband. There's big John Eales. Two big leapers in the middle of the lineout. And the hard men off for Hingawe and Earl down towards the back. Fitzpatrick throws. Nice work by Wetton again. This is Fox, and they're onto him, but he gets the kick away safely and just inches the ball up the touchline. That was just safety and steadiness and common sense that time from the New Zealand. But the good thing is they've won a couple of crucial lineouts early on.
Yes, they have, and that was good ball from Wetton. Well controlled and tapped.
There's Gary Wetton, 51st test match, a short line out for Australia, only 5 minutes. Palm down on the New Zealand side. Fox, he's let it go to Innes. Innes with the left boot, which we know is so effective. It was deflected. This is Rob Egerton, and Michael Jones was through on him. So too was Ian Jones. Good work by Ian Jones. Basham trying to get it to Michael Jones. This is the halfway line. Terry Wright is up. Timu. He's got Walter Little with him, and Offahengawe comes across. This is all outside the 22. He's in the play, his second test match today. John Timu, the 22-year-old from Dunedin.
And he should have let it go. This is where he had a 2-on-1. He had to let it go. There's no point in backing up if you're not going to get the ball.
Might have run out of room there, though, Earl. It was down the tram line.
No, he came back inside. He should have let it go then. There's still room always. When you're that close to a 22, you've got to keep on attacking.
Okay, Earl, about 5 minutes gone. Who's ahead on points?
New Zealand, definitely.
Okay, the New Zealanders, they passed the ball dramatically there in those opening seconds, didn't they? That was quite a shock, wasn't it? Here's Troy Coker getting ready. Who's down, Grant?
John Eales is the man down, the man they call Parramatta. Pretty Sutherland at the Parramatta Eels. And there's Troy Coker, who played so well for the B team, but it looks like Eales is going to continue. Let's go for a quick comment down to the sideline, Andy Hayden.
Lynagh gets it away downfield. We'll hear from Andy in a moment. So Lynagh safely up and over halfway. This incredible guy. Remember those Michael Lynagh and Nick Farr-Jones are today equal the world record for a partnership in tests. 35 times together in test matches. There's Nick Farr-Jones away to the right. And that's a fantastic record. New Zealand combination in the same position, the 12th time together. Fitzpatrick throws. Number 8 is Tim Gavin. Farr-Jones, fumble. Good work by Lynagh to get it clear to Horan. This is Jason Little. It's at halfway. Farr-Jones away to Lynagh. Excellent kick, superb kick. John Kerwin comes into the picture for the first time, but that is a marvellous kick by number 10 Michael Lynagh.
Yes, as I say, they're playing for position, both sides really, and Australia are quite content to keep plugging on, hoping that their forwards are going to master the Blacks. They did it against England, playing the same tactic, and I think you'll see Poitevin run a lot off the fringes, particularly from lineouts if they get clean ball. They'll take it in and use him to bash.
8 minutes gone first half, no score. Australia's going to get this one. Farr-Jones now into the Aussie backs.
Here's line-up, pops it up for Horan. He's well held by Grant Fox, who moved across to take him. But the Australians dangerous here. They're near centre field. But it's coming on the All Black side, I think. No, it's not. All Blacks could see it in there. Referee had a quick look, said it won't come out. The Aussies were moving forward. And Ray Megson gives the scrum to Australia in a marvellous attacking position. They have a huge blindside.
But it's still the wrong way for him to go. I'm still sure they'll go to the right, and I think Lynagh may drop.
Yes, Farr-Jones won't have a chance to drop. Oh, a bit of a misunderstanding. It's popped into the arms of Walter Little. 22-metre line All Black territory. Referee playing advantage here as the All Blacks rumble to the ruck and get a penalty.
Well, why didn't he let it go? I mean, they picked it up and run, and he still gave the penalty, and he hadn't put his hand up before he moved away.
It came on the New Zealand side, didn't it?
And it came on the New Zealand side.
No advantage law played by referee Megson. There's Tim Gavin going back into position. Been a real star on the Australian side this year. Meantime, Grant Fox to clear. Fox was out here yesterday, and he had a 100% record with his goal kicking. The scoring machine. New Zealand's answer to Lynagh.
Can they put the pressure on this line-out? Vitally important for New Zealand here.
Gary Wetton doing an excellent job at the front of the line-out. He looks to have Rod McCall covered. Haven't seen too much of the battle in the middle of the line-out between John Eales, the new whiz kid, and Ian Jones. That was Eales, though. Got up very high. Lynagh skirts back inside the 22. And what a marvellous kick from Michael Lynagh.
Yes, it's very much tit for tat. It's going to be the seesaw that I mentioned earlier on in this first 20 minutes.
This match coming to you live from the Sydney Football Stadium on One World of Sport. We've had 9 minutes in the test match, no score yet. Fitzpatrick looking towards the back this time, where Michael Jones is a superior jumper to Poitevin. Away goes Zinzan, almost at the 10-metre line. Pops up nicely for Bashop. Bashop tries to angle it away from Roebuck. There's no challenges here. The All Blacks not putting much pressure on Roebuck. And he replies with a useful enough kick. It's all very well to kick downfield, Earl Curtin. You've got to chase it up.
Yes, they were rather reluctant to chase or pursue then, weren't they?
Marty Roebuck, he's been round for a while. Ian Jones in the middle of the line-out. Andy Earl's come up near the front and won a good one for the All Blacks. That's good line-out ball from Andy Earl. Now Ennis pops it up for Timu. Running into heavy traffic in centre field there. Zinzan was there to quickly take it. All Blacks have control of it. There's the ball in the arms of Richard Lowe, and away he goes, Richard Lowe. 5 metres out from the 22. All Black forwards getting some superiority here now. Spun out towards Terry Wright. Straight to Kerwin. Oh, he got past Egerton. Well, there's one for the notebook. John Kerwin brushed past Rob Egerton as if he wasn't there. The All Blacks will have noted that. It took a tackle from Michael Lynagh to snuff it out.
Yes, it was good, strong stuff again. And it is a psychological win. He's brushed him aside. I'd love to see him go over Mark Campese, wouldn't you all?
You want him on both sides of the field?
Well, that's what I reckon he can do.
Australia wins one. Farr-Jones bravely crashes straight in. They need a halfback, and the halfback's name is Tim Gavin.
That was good skill, wasn't it, from Gavin?
Another kick from Lynagh downfield. Absolutely chock-a-block here at the football stadium. 41,000 people. All Blacks starting well. 11 minutes gone in the game. Injury break here. Far Jones, I think it's contact lens problem. Let's go to sideline Sam, Andy Hayden.
Interesting game developing here, Keith, because I think the All Blacks are getting enough possession to stay well in the game. It'll be the team that gets the most possession is going to dominate today. Line-out's going with the throw each time.
Okay, All Black throw here. Let's see how this one goes. All Blacks brought Andy Earl right down to the front to win the last line-out. Going towards the back, Andy Earl wins another one. Wetton cleverly onto Fox. Fox across to Innes. Little doubling. Here's Wright into the clear. Terry Wright with his pace. Almost got to Roebuck. Little carries on. All Blacks playing this game at speed.
That's exactly what they're doing.
This is an exciting game already. Andy Earl. Good line-out win. Clever work from Gary Wetton. And a nice little double round by Walter Little. Those two players, Innes and Little, know each other so well. And here's the pace of Terry Wright as he got through that tackle from Far Jones. And the All Blacks take it down to within 18 metres of the line. Ian Jones gets up, wins the ball.
They're out in the backs, but the whistle has gone. Jumping, and here's the chance for New Zealand. No, it's not. It's gone the other way. We had some traffic officer signals from referee Megson. And the referee has finally decided a clearing kick for Michael Lynagh. Earl Curtin, did you think that ball should have been let out by Terry Wright?
No, I think he had to go into the hole that he went into then. But I thought Fox cut down the space they had out wide. Again, running across with his pass, he's got to run straighter and let it go across his body, not run with it.
13 minutes gone in the test match at the Sydney Football Stadium. Sean Fitzpatrick to throw. He's in his 33rd test match. Touch judges Kerry Fitzgerald, Australian touch judges today. They're two top World Cup referees. Fumble, and there's Willie Ofahengawe, number 7 today. There's the battle of the front row. Daly, McKenzie and Kearns against McDowell, Fitzpatrick and Lowe. Remember, collectively the Aussie front row is 13 years younger, but the New Zealanders have stacks of experience. They are the world record holders for any prop and hooker combination in test matches playing together. The scrum is down though this time. The New Zealanders have played together. This is their 23rd test together.
Well, that often happens. I reckon referees are far better to let them play the ball when it goes through the scrum rather than resetting like this.
Far Jones just on All Black's side of halfway. That's that familiar. He's hooked it away again. Far Jones, a bad kick. It's gone to Innes. And he's kicked it deep down the field where Innes will chase through and try and put pressure on Lynagh. Oh, a change of idea by Lynagh. Out to Roebuck. This one hasn't found the line. Kerwin, and he's got support from his Auckland teammate Terry Wright. Kerwin punches it down the line. And across comes Nick Far Jones, who caused all that by a bad kick in the first place. And that was most unlike him. He skied that into the middle of the field.
Yes, there must be a bit of tension on even a very cool man like Lynagh.
So there's two of the triumvirate of loose forwards. Andy Earl, Zinzan Brook behind them, Tim Gavin. It's Sean Fitzpatrick to throw. Still no score. 15 minutes gone. Oh, anything's happening in there. It's a jungle in there. Away goes Kearns. Good little burst by him to give Australia the advantage here. Turned over for Lynagh. Away to Lynagh. And there is a kick that's got Terry Wright on the scoot. But he cleverly got his body between the ball and the touchline like a good fullback. And there's his reply. He was behind the 22. How's he going, Neil? What do you think?
Oh, the sun was worrying him then. That's why he waited for the bounce. But it was a lovely return kick. He's got to take the ball on the full though if he can get to it. So he's still a touch nervous. Otherwise he would be. Isn't he a skillful player though?
A good run a moment ago by Philip Kearns, the hooker. Here he is in his 13th test match. Floats the ball in, swinging arm from Gary Wetton, so it's a bit untidy. Earl goes down. Basham down the short side, pushing it back to the place where it came from. This is Bob Dwyer, the Australian coach. The first time we've seen him, a 50-year-old Sydney real estate agent.
He likens playing rugby to music. They had in this morning's Sydney Morning Herald that it was a rhapsody in green and gold. Heavens above, there'll be plenty of singing, all right, if they win here tonight.
22-metre line. Fitzpatrick throws, palmed by Earl. Ian Jones, and now they've gone into the setup. "20 metres out. Brook and Fitzpatrick doing good work. Low, thrown down by Far Jones, so they've committed the halfback in there. Basham. Fox. A high one. Campese, who hasn't been in the game yet. Loose ball. Try is scored by Ian Jones. The first time Campese got in the game, it's deflected from a high kick by Fox, and Ian Jones has scored it. New Zealand in the lead by 4-0, and look at the Kiwis in the crowd. Ian Jones, his 10th Test match, and he's across for a second try. Look at that, a loose ball right near the line after the fumble by Campese, and Ian Jones is over.
Well, it was a great kick by Fox. He taunted Campese with it. There was no other word for it. And then came, after he knocked it forward, you saw the obvious result. But there wasn't only one black man there. There were 5 of them there ready to snaffle up the loose ball. They're playing at pace. They're playing well.
Well, Fox had his 100% record, as Grant Nisbet has told you at practice. A little signal there by Fox to the ball boy just to clear the line. All these points will be vital this afternoon. Fox, wide out. Beautifully hit. Great goal from Fox. You can't get much wider than that on a football field. And New Zealand are in the lead. After 19 minutes of play, they've got 6-0. Let's go to Andy Hayden on the sideline.
Tremendous commitment and urgency from the All Black side. They're all over Australia in that department. The Australians still quite dangerous, though, because they're getting enough ball to stay in the game.
Well scored by Ian Jones, his 2nd try in Test matches. New Zealand are 6 and Australia 0.
Away we go with Michael Lynagh. Big setback for the Australians. Here's Fox. What a brilliant conversion from Grant Fox. He's not going to find touch here. Now Far Jones runs it up. Pressure on Terry Wright. Didn't call for the fair catch, or if he did, the referee didn't award it. So now it's time for Australia to come back onto the attack, just a metre out from the All Black line.
Watch to see if this referee now starts dishing out a penalty here to even it up. Am I cynical? Yes.
Well, Phil Kearns to throw. It's almost deja vu, this line-out. It's in exactly the same place as the line-out at Athletic Park 10 months ago. All Blacks tapping untidy. Try. Same man. Daly, I think, this time. Kearns picked it off Daly.
Tim Gavin, perhaps, or John Eales. It's a bit of a lottery, Grant.
A few of them claiming it. Well, talk about deja vu. The ball was loose, and maybe Tim Gavin got it. Phil Kearns will probably claim it as well.
I think you're right, Grant. Phil Kearns. Oh, maybe not. Who cares? They got the 4, I suppose.
Well, untidy tap by the All Blacks. Exactly what happened 10 months ago, and they've conceded another 4-pointer. And it looks as though might have gone to Tim Gavin. As you say, Keith, who cares? 4 points, 6-4 now. So Australia hits back immediately. Untidy stuff, Earl.
Yes, it was. But, I mean, it's the pressure of the game, too. It's going to happen. It was just a weird... Yes, it was. It was just slightly untidy. It wasn't really locked up. But still, when you're playing at pace and you're changing all your line-out jumpers around so regularly and so often, one thing that does happen that almost drives you nuts if you're coaching is they loosen up. It's inevitable.
Line up. He's 10 metres in from the touchline. Looks good. Back to even Stevens we go. All Blacks scoring after about 19 minutes. Australia comes straight back. Try converted by Michael Lynagh. And so 6-all is the score in this pulsating test match. There's been a heck of a lot to talk about in the first 20 minutes. It's been a game of real movement. And we're back where we started on even terms. 6-all. Bob Dwyer, John Breen, the Australian manager. Here's Grant Fox.
Fox kicks out the short one that New Zealand get up to compete for. Good run by Ian Jones. He's having a big game. The Camo lock forward. Used to be an electrician. I think he's a builder now. We used to call him the Camo Sparky. Now we must call him, I suppose, the Camo Chippy. Got the try. Bash him away to Fox. Fox is going to try the high ball again. Roebuck gets Walter Little. Gets the problems there just out from the goal line. And here's the penalty coming the All Blacks' way. The Aussies went over and killed it stone dead. Penalty for New Zealand. It's a seesaw struggle at the moment. Just 4 minutes ago, New Zealand weren't for the try. Australia replied, and now there's more chance for point for New Zealand.
Yes, but notice how fast those New Zealand forwards got there. They're playing well. This is so much better than Argentina. It just doesn't compare.
Where was the advantage law there, Earl? Could have done with it.
No, he just didn't play it. That was all there was to it.
So the Aussies locked it up tight there, and they didn't let it come out. Grant Fox, his 30th test match, 469 points. He's the third highest scorer in international rugby history. Through it goes for another 3, and so it's a topsy-turvy struggle at the moment. 23 minutes gone now. New Zealand after 19 minutes went into the lead 6-0. Then it was 6-all, and now this man has put New Zealand out by 9 points to 6.
Well, I mentioned before, I think this it's been one of the best openings to a test in years, really. It's an excellent game of football. You can see them thinking almost from here. Absolutely marvellous.
You're on One World of Sport. Gary Wetton's All Blacks are in the lead by 3 points. Still a quarter of an hour to go to half-time here at Sydney Football Stadium.
Roebuck this time gets us underway. Just a short kick for the Australians to try and regain possession. They do. Take it nicely into the maul here. 10-metre line, All Black territory. Now they try and twist it away. This is well done. Poitevin right in there, along with Mackenzie. Farr Jones presses on. Good work here from the Australians. Now Farr Jones releases it. Here's Lynagh out to Horan. Little. Away goes Walter Little. Can he get the pass away? All Blacks there in 4-2. Michael Jones was first there. All Blacks arms out. Chipping away at the referee there. I think they were disappointed about that.
They were totally disappointed. I mean, he went down, he wasn't held, and then he got back up onto his feet again. Have a look.
Walter Little was off here, chased by his opposite number, Tim Horan. Back live, his line is kicked into the middle, beautifully fielded by Zinzan. The kick goes almost into the arms of Tim Horan. Across to Egerton. He knocked it on. Well, he hasn't made much of a start, Rob Egerton. Complaints here about a late tackle. Yeah, might have been a bit late too from JK. Referee didn't see it that way, though.
It wasn't at all naughty, though, was it? It was a straightforward low tackle.
Yes, it was.
All Blacks spinning the scrum round. Andy Earl has it. He knocked it on a wee bit. Just a wee one. A lot of pressure on those scrums. Farr Jones right on halfway. Up to Gavin. Farr Jones using all the players they can. Off and go away. Here's Poitevin. Very clever interchange of passes by the loose forwards. Now Lynagh, Horan. Lovely hands to Little. Jason Little gets into the clear. Michael Jones tries to hold him. Australia rampaging here near the 22 All Black territory. Daly, lovely little pass. Campo. Ball bounces forward. Big tackle by Terry Wright. Again, no advantage played by the referee.
Why do they? Why don't they let it go?
Lovely hands here. And Campese, he almost got a hold of it. Wright knocked him in a big tackle, lost it forward. Often Galway couldn't get a hold of it. The referee blew the whistle immediately as Graham Basham picked it up.
Yes, and ran around with about 4 guys on one. They could have gotten the length of the stick, of the paddock. So.
Yeah, that's right. 13 minutes remaining in the first half. Australians screw the scrum again. 9 points to 6. The All Blacks lead. They're having to defend here, though. This match live on One World of Sport. Now Basham. Good little clearing kick from Graham Basham. In today, his 12th Test match. Remember, his debut was back at Carter Farms Park against Wales.
It was a good facet of play by Australia, wasn't it? Where they just kept on picking it up. It was very much New Zealand style.
Well, they threw it quickly. The All Blacks won it, though. Fox partially charged by Eels. All Blacks all onside. Back goes Far Jones. Campese was a little bit ahead of him when he made the kick. And Fox has to tidy up again. And the referee agrees. Campo was slightly ahead. The All Blacks will take the scrum back. Let's go down to Andy Hayden at the sideline.
Australians employing a kicking game far more than the All Blacks. The All Blacks trying to run it, which is to their credit. And I think that'll play off in the finish because they're putting together some good moves now. Bit of continuity in their play, and they're looking to probe holes in the Australian defence.
Michael Jones receiving attention from David Abercrombie, the All Black physio. Well, it's been hell for leather stuff, Elkert. Nice little break here for the players. Paul Henderson is just stretching on the sideline as a precaution against Jones.
Yes, he doesn't look. I didn't think Jones looked too bad. But it's been a good test, really good test up till now. You can see almost every player really thinking, and it's magic when people do that.
Ankle injury for Michael Jones. We all know the injury problems that have beset him this year. Let's hope it's not serious. We're getting to the vital part of the season. Paul Henderson goes back into position. All Blacks have it. Cleared it away to Basham. Now Fox. Another kick from Fox. Down towards Campese.
Campo waits near halfway. He's safe this time. Tries to get a run going, but look, the All Black men were through underneath and he didn't let it go. And here's the chance for New Zealand to go out 6 again. It was actually against Willie Ofahengawe. Referee Megson says you were over the top, and Campese is right on the bottom, and he shuffles away, but it's a chance now for Grant Fox. It's handy enough. We'll look at the distance. It's about 38 metres. Look at Willie Ofahengawe there, coming in over, not staying on his feet. Down he went. Referee's arm goes up. The penalty for New Zealand. Don't forget, today we're doing the Ubix MVP. We'll tell you towards the end of the game who we award that honour to for today's match. The Ubix MVP, Grant Fox, 2 from 2. You know, he's kicked 12 from 12 in his last 2 first-class games. That's the Counties Ranfurly Shield Challenge and Auckland against North Auckland. Included in that as a drop goal. Alex Wiley's going down to check on the condition of Michael Jones. Referee Vanderfield there, former referee, is the doctor here today. Roger Vanderfield. Fox to kick. Well, that little sequence is unbroken, and that will be one that Fox will be disappointed with, I'm sure, because that was kickable in the conditions out there. Still 9-6, no change. Fox just wondering about the wind there, perhaps. No change to the score. Lynagh kicks out. Gary Wetton is interfered with. He was pushed. Where's the referee on that one? He's got his hand in, and it's a penalty to New Zealand. You saw it. centre screen. Wetton was taken out of the game, and Fox will have a second bite of the cherry on the penalty attempt from just about the same place. But of course, look at number 5, Wetton. Up he goes, and McCall takes him out before he can make the catch with the big forearm jolt. Good call by referee Megson, who had clear line of sight for that infringement.
You've never seen the reverse of that happen, have you? When Auckland are playing? No, not really.
No, it's New Zealand commentary today.
Exactly.
It's New Zealand commentary.
Good work by Gary Wetton not to react, because it could have gone the other way.
No, he had no show of taking it. He was well scarpered.
Reserve halfback Paul McGann. Behind him, New Zealand manager John Sturgeon to the right, and Lane Penn, one of the All Black selectors. Well, this is in many ways a lucky break for Fox. That was a miss that might be significant, the last one. Here's his chance to maybe put it right. 10 minutes still till half-time. Fox turned away in disgust. That's 2 misses in 2 minutes. And that is most unlike Grant Fox. Now, we shouldn't carp, because the little guy has a magnificent, unparalleled, unrivaled record in New Zealand rugby history. But 2 misses in 2 minutes by Fox. It could be costly today. Graham Bishop, and that's bounced out on the full. Just a couple of little variances coming into the New Zealand form run, Earl Curtin.
3 mistakes, one might say, in the last 3 minutes.
The lineouts have been going particularly well. That one's gone on the Australian side. Kearns, who's having a good game, gets in. Nick Farr-Jones finds the traffic is about as busy as the Sydney Harbour Bridge was this morning getting to the ground. No way through. Defensive penalty for the Aussies.
You must have said they joined the ruck from the wrong side. Is that what he was saying? Came around the wrong side? It's hard to see what that was for, too.
Went back to the offside, I think, Earl.
We're not listening to the referee here in Australia today, so we may sometimes be a bit unclear as to what he's calling for. That's a great thing, that the referee's microphone, to keep you up to date and informed. It's a New Zealand throw-in on the 22. Kearns has scored the try. Well, actually, they gave it to Gavin in the end, didn't they? Tim Gavin. 9-6, New Zealand lead. Graham Bishop waits. Swinging arm. It's a knock on. Interesting that the referees for this Bledisloe Cup series are not World Cup referees. Ray Megson is not considered one of Scotland's top 2 referees, and the referee for the Auckland match in a fortnight is Ken McCartney, who I think will be making his international debut at Auckland. So I think it's a bit odd. Surely referees need practice as well before the World Cup.
Yes, that's true too.
Defensive scrum. Bishop. Australia have turned it around. Play on, says referee Megson. Bishop, he fumbled there, and the advantage is lost. A little mistake. That's a couple today for number 9. He had a superb game for Canterbury a fortnight ago against Waikato. Was in scorching form. But he kicked the ball out a moment ago. Little fumble there. A couple of mistakes by Bishop. It's New Zealand still in the lead by 9-6. What can Australia do here?
Good attacking position for them. Lynagh hands it up to Horan. Long one across to Campo. Chased by Innes. Taken by Innes. Got the little kick in though. Bounce of the ball. And Michael Jones tries to clear it. All Blacks still in trouble. Whistle's gone now. Oh, it's heart attack stuff over there.
That is heart attack country, Grant. I couldn't agree more. Goodness me.
Michael Jones did extremely well. He went to kick it, and someone grabbed his foot. Now the All Blacks have to produce a decent scrum here. They have. Back to Fox in the in-goal area, and he unloads a good kick.
But a lack of concentration by the All Blacks. They started so well, and they've just gone off it a bit. They've got to concentrate. We say it often, and I mean, coaches say it all the time. And it is true. They've got to get back in the groove.
Yes, this match is live on One World of Sport from the Sydney Football Stadium. It's a beautiful day in Sydney, and this is an excellent game of rugby too. 9-6, the All Blacks lead. We've got just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. The Australians are doing all the attacking in this last couple of minutes. Here they have it again. Lovely little pass by Farr-Jones. Straight across to Little. Looks for Horan. Walter Little can't put him down. Now the scramble for the loose ball. Here goes Lynagh again. Away to Galway. Good tackle by Craig Innes that time. Held him up. And Far Jones taps the little one ahead back to Fox. Fox tries to get away from Lynagh. Does so. And skillful work by Grant Fox, who seems to be all over the place today. His covering has been outstanding. So this match has lived up to everything we thought it would.
There's one noticeable exception, though. When Australia get the ball, notice how wide Lynagh is. He's very wide. He really is getting away from our New Zealand loose forwards.
Kearns looking towards the back where Eels taps, but he taps it straight into the arms of Ian Jones. So the All Blacks read that one. Now Bishop delivers up for Fox. Fox again with a low drive in behind the Australian backs. Roebuck across, but Fox has done it again. Now the referee wants to have a yarn here with, I think, Phil Kearns. Must have been something said. Very pleasant fellow, Keith Quinn. We had a long chat with him down at Wollongong, but maybe in the heat of battle he said something there to Ray Megson.
Yeah, he's a very nice young man, 24-year-old Phil Kearns from here. And certainly he's a builder. Nice guy, but there's no love lost in that front row for the next 50 minutes, and then they'll all settle down afterwards. Have a beer, have a chat.
McCall got his hands on that one. The Australians win a line-out. Here's the kick from Horan. Big, strong kick. And the All Blacks get a good bounce. That could have gone away to the right and into touch. Instead, it's gone into the in-goal area. Terry Wright forces, making a good fist of it back at fullback, Terry Wright.
Incredible that 2 days ago, you know, he was the weak spot on the New Zealand team, and this morning's Sydney Morning Herald, he was written up as the danger man on the New Zealand team. They changed their mind in 2 days here about the guy.
Well, I think Dwyer had, you know, visions of him coming in outside Kerwin, where he is very potent.
Australia has it. Eels. Poitevin charges at the All Blacks. Good solid tackling round the rucks and mauls by the All Blacks. Australia here trying to steamroll it ahead. Still 5 metres out from the 22. Now they're going to give it away. Lynagh, Horan. Here's Jason Little. They must score surely. Egerton. He's going to ask the touch judge. No, 22 dropout. Referee asked his touch judge, Kerry Fitzgerald. Bob Dwyer doesn't like it, does he? Let's have another look at this. Jason Little got through that tackle. If he'd stepped back inside, he probably could have made it on his own. The All Black cover defence comes across. Egerton dives, doesn't force it. Doesn't force it.
Good call by the referee.
Very good call. So a bit of an escape for the All Blacks. They were stretched wide there, but they have escaped. They have a 22 dropout. Just over 2.5 minutes to go.
Terry Wright under real pressure there, but it was a bit like a soccer goalkeeper when it got to him. He had very little he could do, but it wasn't a try. Good call. The television replays have helped the referee. Here's Jason Little again. 22-metre line. That time the tackler was number 15, Terry Wright. The ball is there. It's off the deck.
It's got to be a penalty against Australia. They've dived into the ball on the deck.
It's spinning out along the back line. They'll believe it. Horan. And the little guy goes over the sideline. It's all over the park. And somehow John Timu went down. What is the referee doing now? Coming back to the 22, and he is making a penalty for Australia. Well, a penalty for Australia out in midfield.
Well, you wouldn't read about it. I mean, to see Jason Little was bold, went down onto the deck, and Horan dived straight on over the top of it. I'm sure it was Horan to kill the ball. I mean, there's no way you can dive into that 1 yard area. So they should have been pinged there and then.
Cahill, Gatland, Greg Cooper there, New Zealand reserves. Furrowed brows. This is out in front on the 22. Australia have had some try-scoring chances, one on each side of the field in the last moments. Michael Lynagh can tie it up at half-time, and we can begin the second half with it all level again. And can we cope as the seconds tick away to half-time? Dramatic rugby. Rugby at its best. And remember, the World Cup is to come. There's a month of this, October and November. Crunchy games every night. Television New Zealand will be there. One World of Sport will bring you the games. Marvellous anticipation. But here he is, the world's highest scorer of points in Test rugby. And he can land this one and level it up at the half-time break. Michael Lynagh, number 10. Straight through it goes. We think it's a controversial penalty call, which has run Australia's way. Level, tied up, equal, 9-all. What a simply superb location for this game, and don't we wish we had a stadium like this back in New Zealand. A marvellous venue. The occasion is right. The hooter is going to go, and that's half-time. 9-all. I know you won't go away. We've got 40 minutes of scintillating rugby to come here on One World of Sport after this.
Welcome back to the Sydney Football Stadium. The second half just underway here in the Battle of the Bledisloe. Second half of the first test, and it's 9-all. The All Blacks 5 metres on the Australian side of halfway, and they're looking towards Michael Jones at the back, who had a lot of treatment at half-time. Here's Zinzan Brooke releasing up to Craig Innes, straight across to John Timu, who got a fair bit of work in the first pass. He got straight past Campo, and Zinzan Brooke is right there. The ball is in touch, though. Well, that's a good psychological boost for John Timu in the second half. Pushed his way past Campese.
Egerton, former All Black, how do you read it at the half-time break? Tell us.
I think the last 10 minutes was certainly Australians in that first half. Their scrum is stronger. I think New Zealand is still winning line-outs, and I think they will play at a pace in this second half, and I expect them to win the last 15 minutes.
Kearns goes in, mops it up for the Australians. Here's Lynagh inside his 22, kicking it straight down towards Timu. Well taken by Timu, quickly releases up to right. Now the field opens up here for Terry Wright, angling it away. Is he kicked it too far? No, he's done it well. What a good kick from Terry Wright.
Yes, he spiralled it away, and he thought too.
Skillful player, we all know that. Man who scored over 100 tries for Auckland, having his first test match at fullback today and making a great job of it.
But New Zealand have to pin Australia down in this quarter. They've got to win this line out to put real pressure on. Most important time, 10 minutes in this half. Always the first 10 minutes, very important. They've lost it.
What a take from John Eales, number 5. The 21-year-old in the middle of the line-out took that brilliantly. Australia trying to drive off Eales, but they're not making much progress. In fact, I think the All Blacks might have shoved them back a metre or two. Now let's see which way this goes. Well, yeah, look at that. All Blacks will get this put in. Eales might have taken it, but the All Blacks got better body positions, drove him back, and get the put in. So here is a good opportunity. All Blacks seem to be keener to move the ball, Earl.
I think it'll go to Kerwin. No, they've come off from the blind side. That might change it.
Kerwin's going to chase.
It's too far.
Well, wait for the bounce. Dangerous bounce. Throwback gets it. The old footy ball. You've got to wait till it bounces.
But not only that, can Egerton stand in front of the fullback like that? Deliberately stand in front to shepherd you getting at the ball taker. Interpretation would vary. I'd say he can't.
You're onto this referee today, Earl, aren't you?
Oh, they worry me. They're going to be the most important facet in our game the next 6 months, particularly if we're going to compete with that other game.
All Blacks couldn't control that one. Andy Earl lost it, and maybe it's in there with the Australians, although it looks like the All Blacks might have it in. Oh, Richard Lowe, yes, he's got it contained in there. 10 metres on the Australian side of halfway. All Blacks edge it up a couple of metres. Here they go, the big black machine. This is marvellous stuff. Fantastic. Where's the ball? 5 metres out from the 22. Kerwin went in, played halfback. Walter Little looking for a gap. Tried to pop it up for Innes. Innes knocked it on. So the Australians get a little bit of breathing space here, playing advantage, the referee. Now Lynagh changing the direction. Here comes Egerton. Right back for the All Blacks.
Well, there wouldn't have been many fullbacks that would have beaten Egerton to that ball, but Wright's one of them. Well, there's excessive pace.
Lovely kick by Michael Lynagh, once again changing the direction of play. And here's Egerton, and he's full on. Look at that. And Terry Wright. A long run for Terry Wright, and he managed to mop it up.
Bob Dwyer said in the paper this morning that Terry Wright's the fastest player in the world, so I think we saw a very good example of that then.
Okay, then 4 minutes gone in the second half. No change. The Aussies go back onto the attack. 9-all's the score.
Deep to the palm by Eels, who's coming into his own of it the last couple of line-outs in the second half. Opa Hingawe tidies up. Who's got the pill? It's there for Nick Farr-Jones. Away to line of the droppy. No, kicking it wide towards Campese. Right, plucks it out of the sky. Zinzanbrook breaking away. Bash him up. Fox clears. Hard tackle on Fox. Was it called late? No, referee Megson was there and had a look. John Eels got across there. When he gets the big legs moving, he was the one that caught Fox in the tackle. And he's quite mobile, the big guy.
Oh, he's very athletic for a young man, isn't he?
That's him, number 5.
He's 20. He's a good player in the air too. What a great player he'll be for Australia over the next 4 or 5 years, particularly when he gets a bit more stamina and heightens up a little.
Heightens up a little. You think he's still growing, this guy?
No, I really meant bulks up a bit.
All right, there he is up again. John Eels, Farr-Jones, Lynagh, Horan. Jones is across. Michael Jones, we worried about him at half-time with all that tape on his boot. It was re-examined by David Abercrombie. And here's a chance for Australia to have the lead. Richard Lowe is penalised. Midfield, 35 metres out. So, worry time for New Zealand. Let's look again. Richard Lowe there. Let's look and see what happened there. It's off the ground. What's the problem?
Well, he's not on his feet, basically, when he's mooring it away. But, I mean, they shouldn't all either be crashed in like that when they're not bound. They dived in onto the deck for a start. This is what happens. And this is why I worry about refereeing.
Comment from Andy Hayden.
Yes, interesting game developing here. We saw most of the last 10 minutes of the first half, the Australians down in the All Black end. Well, we're watching most of the time down towards the left of our screen because that wind is quite significant. Up high, hard to cover the ball for a fullback, so there's going to be a few bombs go up on the Australians shortly, I think. Enough ball going the All Black way. I think overall the Aussies are playing a good game, but the All Blacks are starting to get a little bit of momentum up. A few mistakes have probably cost them dearly, though.
Time gone, second half, 7 minutes. 9-all at half-time. A chance for Australia to take the lead for the first time. No probs. No worries. They're in the lead. Look at Bob Dwyer's son there, loving it, as Australia are in the lead by 12 points to 9. 2 penalties and a conversion by Michael Lynagh. He missed that first kick, remember. And Australia in the lead by 3. Don't forget, the One Network news will be after the completion of the rugby. The live rugby goes through to its conclusion today. And we've got a lot of football to come. Gary Wetton at halfway. I guess he's got to keep in mind the big picture, that this is a little aberration, if you like, to have lost the lead. The New Zealand captain will be trying to keep his troops calm and keeping to the program that they've pre-planned. But for the moment, New Zealand are behind.
Fox just makes it to the 10-metre line where it's taken by Poideman for the Australians. All Blacks getting there quickly and driving nice and low. It's coming, I think, though, for Farr-Jones. No. So 12 points to 9. The All Blacks got away to a good start with Ian Jones getting a try. But the Aussies came straight back. Tim Gavin, or maybe Phil Kearns. We'll say Gavin at this stage. It was 9-all at half-time. It's now 12-9. Gavin trying to take it out. Bishop's offside a mile.
Yeah, there's a point there, though. He had his hands down, therefore trying to pick the ball up, and it wasn't bound. And the moment he takes his hands away from a bound position, and it's well described in the law book, basically the scum is finished, and Bishop was entitled to have a go at him.
Okay, he wasn't offside.
You make your point, Earl. Earl Curtin is waving dismissive gestures around the commentary box here. You're not a happy chap, are you, Earl?
Oh, my consistency in refereeing, otherwise it makes it difficult.
Gary Wetton shouts the instructions from number 2. Alex Wiley looks no different now than he did at the start of the game. Zinzan showing the signs of battle. That's a beautiful take by Ian Jones. A vital line-out win by the big fella from North Auckland. He stretched up there, cleaned out John Eels, and the All Blacks go back via this man, Grant Fox, to halfway. The line-outs have been a marvellous contest. But the Aussies get to throw in this time. That is significant because, as Andy Hayden said, the lineouts have basically been going with the throws. Not going to happen this time. There's a bit of shoving, though. Referee playing advantage here. It's going to be a penalty against the All Blacks.
There was a lot of yelling, too, in the shoving.
It's life in the jungle, isn't it, Earl, those lineouts?
Oh, that's why, I mean, I think it gets to a stage where you let a lot of it go because they're both doing it. It becomes an arbitrary decision who you're going to ping. I said earlier there he was hot on lineouts, but I mean, to be still giving away penalties at this stage ruins the game.
Lynagh passed up the opportunity there to have a shot at goal, which is maybe an indication. Look at the pushing there. And you can see Eels went out. So it maybe indicates that there is some quite considerable breeze down there, favouring the All Blacks in the second spell. Fitzpatrick looking towards the back. Play on, says the referee. Bashop clears, and clears very well indeed. Good little kick by Graham Bashop. Andy Hayden right down there in front by the lineouts. A pretty interesting battle going on, Andy.
Yes, it is an interesting battle. The Australians have shortened their line-out quite often because the All Blacks have got 3 jumping loose forwards, and in fact everyone in the line-out apart from Lowe is a jumper. The Australians are probably looking for just their 3 main jumpers.
They got another one there. Far Jones down the touchline for John Timu. Oh, and he's skied it into the middle of the field. Now this could be nasty. Taken by Jason Little across to Lynagh. Lynagh with a wiper's kick. And what a kick. Well, a mistake made by John Timu. He kicked it off the side of his boot. And it opened up here for Lynagh to enable him to drive it across field. And end over end it went. Terry Wright couldn't save it. And Australia continue to attack.
Yes, well, Australia have the advantage at 12-9. We've gone past that 10-minute period. And they scored in it. New Zealand haven't. We're going to have a big effort at the end of it.
Kearns throws. Another vital line out. Australia have it. Kearns carries on. Surging on the Australian side. Poitevin has it in there. Trying to organise his forwards. Only 3 or 4 metres short of the line. Still going. All Blacks desperate to try and snuff this out. Far Jones says go blindside. No try. Well, that was awesome power from the Australian forward pack. They've got a penalty out of it.
I don't know why. He's saying that they came round offside, but you have no option when it's rolling. Have a look at this.
Here's the drive by Kearns.
Well, who was offside there?
Or it might have been Offengawe who took it up. Now the referee is unsighted. He's just pointing away to the left there. Now the Australians swing it away as we see it to the right. Get very close to the line. Referee says no, there's no try. Then he goes back to give a penalty to the Australians. Far Jones marshalling the troops as Michael Lynagh lines up another penalty attempt. It's 12-9 at the moment. Lynagh has so far kicked 2 penalties. And for the moment anyway, the All Blacks are on the back foot. So Lynagh from wide out. Oh, he's pushed it away in front. Little to force. All Blacks breathe again. 12 points to 9 the score. And 14 minutes now gone in the second half.
New Zealand on the back foot, all right. Fox kicks out. Stay with us. Don't give up on it yet. It's a slender margin. A try would put New Zealand back in the lead. They bustle up to the 10-metre mark now. Australia in possession. That Australian pack has worked very well in the second half, and this is the kind of play. Poitevin, the guy who's retired 4 times from rugby, but keeps coming back because he loves it so much, gets them to this good position. Wright coming forward, Timu there.
That was a good take by Timu. Very hard ball to take, over your head. Going back, pitched up, and he got up into the air and took it very cleanly.
The crowd here is rising in confidence. Australia in the lead by 3. Anything could happen. It's come to Far Jones. Lynagh. Horan trying to find the loose man. Far Jones again. Kerwin, who's not been in the game a lot, threw on Egerton there. There's big JK number 14.
Now look at him down on the ground there, that Australian player own. It had to be.
Yeah, the referee agrees with you, Earl.
Thank goodness for that. Got down stacks on the mill all day long.
Back go the Australians. Poitevin is really going well here. The 32-year-old veteran, who's the first Wallaby to make 50 test matches, was their record holder for a while. And Campese went past him while he was having one of his retirements. But the lure of the World Cup and these battles against New Zealand have brought Simon Poitevin back into the game. And he just loves the heat of battle. Remember his tremendous titanic struggles with Wayne Shelford. News after the rugby, remember. New Zealand down to the 10-metre mark. High tension here, live rugby, Sydney Football Stadium, the Bledisloe Cup, the first leg. Far Jones.
Not straight.
Not straight, and the barging still goes on.
Time gone is 80 minutes, second half. Basham looked away to the right. There's something on. They might chance their arm, have a little move. Kerwin. You love that blind side, Earl, don't you?
Oh, yes, but you need a way. It'd be better if you had a wider blind than that. I like that first 5/8 running it. That's the big thing, to keep those big chaps in.
There it is, the blind side. Basham away to Kerwin, and he hasn't had many confrontations with Egerton. He really got the better of that one too, didn't he? Egerton doesn't like the tackles on the big guy. Kearns to throw. Kerry Fitzgerald, who refereed the first World Cup final 4 years ago, watching in the background. You notice that sometimes the touch judges change over during the half here. Here's another penalty for Australia. And that's where we bring in expert commentator Earl Curtin.
No, that was justified. New Zealand certainly went over. I think it was Richard Lowe went straight across.
Fitzpatrick, perhaps.
Patrick.
That was a hard one to take because it was into the sun. Well caught by John Kerwin. Very hard catch. You see how he's standing in the little shadow there, and Fox made the clearance. Not much of the ground is in sunlight anymore, but just down that little corridor there on the right wing side where Kerwin plays. 20 lineouts to 13. Australia certainly have the advantage. There they've got another one. Awkward for Far Jones. Straight out to Tim Horan. Horan makes the dart. Michael Jones cleaned him out from behind. They're trying to keep it off the deck. Far Jones running left. It's a 4-on-2. Roebuck. Campese was intercepted by Fox. Basham. And now that is dear. Poor old Graham Basham. He's kicked the ball out in the full there. I wondered whether he was going to make an attacking kick there, and he certainly had that intention. He's very good at them, but it sailed out on the full. And so that little counter-attacking chance comes to a halt. 12-9. 2 tries in the game. 1 to Ian Jones. 1 to Tim Gavin. Lynagh a conversion and 2 penalties. Fox a conversion and 1 penalty. 12-9. A tight test match. Live rugby, Sydney Football Stadium. The action continues.
All Blacks win a line out. Spin it across into the arms of Innes, who likes to kick on that left boot. And well taken by Roebuck. And he in turn drives it back. Lovely take by Walter Little. And does he get it out? Yes. 12 points to 9. Halfway through the second half now. 20 minutes remaining. Let's go to sideline Sam Andy Hayden.
A lot of the play, the territory is being taken from possession, and we've seen the Australians getting too much possession in the last 10 minutes. And the All Blacks needing to up their tempo a little bit because they're running out of time here.
All Blacks penalised inside the 10-metre circle when Wright hit it ahead. And the Aussies have decided to take the scrum where Wright kicked it on the fly. And so it's a scrum across on the far side of the field. Michael Jones seems to be running okay on that ankle injury that he received in the first half.
It's a sign of confidence, isn't it, that they've taken the scrum up there?
Far Jones a bit disturbed about something. He's having a yarn with Kerry Fitzgerald. Well, that's nice, isn't it?
Well, that's terrible. If Far Jones can orchestrate a comment for the referee. No, he took no notice, so he should.
Yeah, that's well without outside the spirit of the game to be yarning to the man like that. Held in the back by Gavin. He's going to release it to Far Jones. He does. Up to Lynagh into the gap. Trouble here for the All Blacks. Lynagh well taken right near the 22. All Blacks have to get back in defence here quickly. Here they come. Horan. Oh, well tackled again. Jason Little in there to try and tidy up. All Blacks would love to win this second phase ball. Not sure they can, though. Australia still in possession. All Blacks getting back slowly. 20 metres out from the All Black line. It's trapped in there. What a lovely move that was. Michael Lynagh was clear.
There's a nice run by Lynagh. Grand tackle by Kerwin. Now let's see if the Australians play one of their righto moves, or their moves to the right of the scrum here.
Jason Little back into position. The 20-year-old, 20 years of age, playing in his 9th Test match. What an attacking position here for the Australians. Well, Far Jones rather gave the show away there. The scrum collapsed. He went away to the right, and it was some sort of flash move on the right-hand side of the scrum. Let's see if they change it. All Blacks have been referee playing advantage here. Gavin holding out. Now Far Jones, away he goes. Tried to pass it away. The referee still playing advantage. It's going to be a penalty, I think, against the All Blacks. It is.
What's that mean? Taking the scrum down, do you think?
I think that's what he's telling the players out there. So here is a gift really for Michael Lynagh. 15 points to 9. This will make it. And it'll be about 17 minutes out in the game. So the All Blacks have got a lot of work to do. This match coming to you live on One World of Sport. And don't forget, One Network News will follow the game, which is now at a vital stage. Bob Dwyer back to his seat as Lynagh has this one placed right in front. Guided through by Michael Lynagh. 3 penalty goals for him today. And there is the score. A 6-point advantage for the Australian team with about 17 minutes left in this match.
Well, the All Blacks have got it all to do. They've really got to get in and start winning possession. They must win this kick-off and drive into the Australian 22. So it's got to be a pinpoint kick by Fox for a start.
All the work ahead of the All Blacks. 16 minutes left in this game.
Fox kicks it short. McCall is waiting. Up go the hands, taken in by that Australian pack. Kearns has had a superb game. They've worked very well in the second half, the Aussies, especially up front. Far Jones. Back to Campese. Long kick by Campese, and that's worth 40 metres. Last time Australians will see him in action today. He's going to retire, and after the World Cup, go and live in Italy. But the new young Turks are coming through in other positions. John Eales behind him, Willie Offahingawe. 5 metres, New Zealand's side of halfway. Brook. About halfway. Supported by Ian Jones. Basham finds Fox. Ennis's pass went to the deck. Timber was over there. Timber going backwards now, 10-metre mark. Australia are on a roll here, but New Zealand have broken away. It was Kerwin in midfield. Now Craig Innes. Zinzad Brook came inside. 10-metre mark. Scratched back. Basham. McDowell. Richard Lowe. The line-up out to the right. Fox kicking wide. Roebuck safe.
Well, that was a fat passage of play where I think Fox has to, or should have, kept on moving it across the pitch. They've got to run at Australia now, particularly in their own half. They've got to get into the Australian half and then run at them.
Andy Hayden's on the sideline. Andy, come in.
Yeah, the Australians are getting too much possession. The All Blacks now have to win more ball. Their scrum is operating a lot better than it was before. The All Blacks, I think, have been struggling at scrum time for the last 20 minutes, but I see the last scrum was a little bit better for the All Blacks. Line out time, much more ball required from the All Blacks, and they, as you said, they have to run at the opposition. We've got two non-tackling wingers. Well, we've got Kerwin could beat his man. Timu is not going to be tackled by his man, so it's stupid not to get the ball right out to them as quick as we can. We haven't been doing that.
Bob Dwyer talking to Peter Slattery in case he has to come into the game. Remember, Nick Farr-Jones has not completed a test match in 1991. He went off against Wales and against England. And he's been off in other state matches as well. Tense time. New Zealand must score twice to get the lead. So they're playing beat the clock. Lost from Jones to Gavin. And there's Lynagh drilling it again. An awkward bounce. Egerton got the bounce. And that's the game breaker. Rob Egerton in under the posts. It's a 10-point gap. Games can twist and turn on the bounce of the rugby ball, and here's another example. It was partially charged down, I believe. Yes, it deflected, I think, off Andy Earl's arm. It's a lottery here when the ball bounces. A very high bounce. Egerton had the speed, and a lucky break gives Australia a 10-point lead. There's Rob Egerton, the non-tackling winger. He may be, but he's a try scorer there. With a lucky break, they've gone to 10 points up, and the kick is to come. Crisis all of a sudden for New Zealand.
Yes, Kerwin had it covered, but he had the way on, and as he hit Kerwin was stationary, and he ripped it out of his arms and round. Very hard ground, as you can see. Great shape, that rugby ball, isn't it, for some?
There's Kerwin. He looked like he was having it. Might have just gone away from it at the last moment, but certainly Egerton, a good piece of skillful chasing, got the bounce, got the catch, and away he went. Here it comes again. Kerwin never really looked like he was going to get it on that view, and that's interesting. Andrew
Hayden was saying before that down there, that wind blows it away that last couple of feet from you. They found it very hard to take the ball. England did last week too, if you don't remember.
Egerton's second try in test matches. The conversion is over. It's 21-9. I think that's the same score that was in the third test at Athletic Park last August, and Australia won that one too, folks. Time to go is 12 minutes, second half.
12 minutes for the All Blacks to get back into this one. Sean Fitzpatrick right on halfway. Can't win the line out, but Jones has got through and snaffled it. All Blacks really have to fire it around now. Fox across to Little. Here comes Innes. No, Little leaves him out. Right into the gap. Now the chase is on for Kerwin. Wright was smacked to the ground as he kicked it. But they've got down towards the 22. They need to keep it in hand, I think, now. Just 11 and a half minutes remaining in this game. Australia have outscored them 2 tries to 1. No hurry now for Phil Kearns.
No, all they've got to do, Australia, is win line-outs. And if they do that, New Zealand are going to find it very difficult.
Wasn't thrown straight, so the All Blacks get a good break here. They can mount something here if they can hit back quickly. It has to be pretty quick, though. So they'll call a move, I'm sure, on the backs. Bishop to feed.
It's interesting, Innes has gone to second 5-8.
Now Fox, here's Innes. Who they're looking for? Kerwin. Innes through. Got to his feet and went again. All Blacks desperate now. Taken on a couple of metres. Release it quickly. Bishop. Zinzan's going to have a run close to the ruck. They need a bit more than one off the ruck.
Yes, the rest of those New Zealand forwards are very slow to get to that.
So the scrum right in centre field. Daly's not down on the far side. He is now. Brook delivers up for Bishop, straight across to Innes. Innes well held, right in centre field. All Blacks want it again. No, they've lost it forward.
Never touched his hand at all. He kicked it forward. Hit his boot and went forward.
Opportunity gone for the All Blacks. Under 10 minutes remaining in the game. 21 points to 9. Far Jones. Lynagh will clear here. Bangs it straight down to Kerwin though. So the big fella gets up steam. Has support with him there. 10 metres out from the 22. Bishop takes it out. Swings it across into centre field where Innes is waiting. All Blacks trying to control the ball. And it's been ruled a knock-on against the All Blacks.
But what you really want when you're clearing it away quickly from there is to get it wide, not to go back inside all the time.
Gavin to pull it off the back. No, Bishop got round there. Australia still have it on their side. Andy Earl perilously close to being offside. And it's going to be a kick this time by Egerton, not Egerton, it's Roebuck. Too far. Well, don't forget at the end of this game, we'll give you the Ubik's most valuable player, for the All Blacks, that is. They're struggling now, I think, to get up and win this game, though. 8.5 minutes remaining. 21 points to 9.
No, they're playing for pride, I'd say now, because Australia just have to keep belting it out.
They have to score twice and convert both tries, even to draw the game. Here's Innes again. Into Timu now. Terry Wright ranging wide. Trying to get away from Campo, who makes a good tackle. Good tackler when he's chasing from behind Campese. Not so good front on. And that was a good tackle on Terry Wright. The All Blacks endeavouring to move it right. The first time, really, we've seen Terry Wright ranging outside the wing, that he does so effectively for Auckland. But Campese hung on well and made the tackle. All Blacks hammer away 20 metres out from the line. 8 minutes to go in the game.
Down towards the back. It's Nick Farr-Jones makes the hurried clearance. A penalty for New Zealand. Here's a difficult decision for Gary Wetton. I think they'll take the points from the penalty. If Fox can get it through the post quickly, that just closes that gap a little. Time ticks away. New Zealand are trying to beat the clock, because they're down. They're deep in debt here. 21 to 9. And this will help, but only a wee bit. They've still got to score twice after this goes over.
Yes, they're trying to play sevens, and they're going to have to play sevens to win this game. To be realistic, it would be almost impossible at this time.
Chips it through. The gap is closed now. 21 to 12 is the score. Let's hear from Andy Hayton on the sideline. How do you see it now, Andy?
I think the All Blacks can still win it. It's a big ask, but they can still win it with a bit of possession and running the ball wide. They've got them on the outside. They must pass it through their back line. It's just a bit of a pity that they've left their run so late. It was unfortunate with that bad bounce at Kerwin over the far side with Egerton running onto the ball. That's put them out of range, but the All Blacks are starting to look a little bit better with a bit more urgency.
The try by Egerton may be the game breaker. The time crunch is 6 minutes to play. It's 21 to 12.
Roebuck restarting from halfway. The All Blacks want to win this one and control it. They have through Andy Earl. Now they've got to make something of it. 12 metres on their own side of halfway. trying to suck a few of the Australian fringes in. But sooner or later, they're going to have to give it away to the backs and ask them to do the job. Edging up towards halfway. Simon Poitevin in there making it very difficult. Now it's going to come for Basham. Here's Fox. Cross to Little. Innes running strongly again. Can't get it back in field. Fox tries to pick it up and knocks it on. It's all over the place. And it was a knock-on firstly by the All Blacks. And so Australia have a scrum. 10 metres on the All Black side of halfway. 5.5 minutes left in this game. Gavin off the back. Far Jones challenged by Brook. Got a nice little kick away down to Terry Wright.
Yes, well, that's all Australia have to do. New Zealand have now got to run out from their 25. But it's still been an absorbing game, even though New Zealand look as if they'll be lucky to win. It's been an excellent game. Tremendous tension, tremendous pressure, and a lot of good football.
Not much in it between these two sides. Chapter 2, remember, the Battle of the Bledisloe, Eden Park in 2 weeks' time, live on One World of Sport. Meantime, Australia win another line-out. Far Jones up to Lynagh, thinks about a drop kick. Couldn't get it onto his right boot. Skies it across into centre field where the All Blacks have got to win it. Egerton wins it again. That's a vital take by Rob Egerton. But he wouldn't let it go. So the All Blacks have got to take this quickly. They have. Gary Wetton charges up the middle. Releases for Steve McDowell. He runs straight into Willie O. Getting almost to halfway now. Basham up to Fox. Walter Little. Looking for his captain, but it's been snaffled away again. Once again, though, the Australians have infringed. Desperation here from the All Blacks. 21 points to 12. Basham across to Little. Fires an awful pass as he stumbles to the ground.
Yes, when he fell over.
Tapped ahead by John Timu. Could be good here if Timu could recover that. It was knocked on by Lynagh. One Network News follows the game, which now has about 3 minutes and 35 seconds to run. 21-12 Australia leads.
What we need here is a game breaker. Have we got one?
They've taken the quick tap. The Aussies weren't back 10. What does referee Megson say? He's letting play run on. Basham wide to Little. Fumble by Kerwin, and that would just about be it, I think, folks. It was looking promising. Out wide, the pass was low, a difficult one. But it spilled forward from the big guy. And down goes a chance for New Zealand out wide.
Yes, he was under the gap.
There they go, working. Every inch is as good as a mile in a situation like this when they're playing with the ball and the time is ticking away. Back to Lynagh from Far Jones. The world record equaling partnership in well-oiled condition there, and they've been the architects of the Australian victory this afternoon on the field and in the goal-kicking stakes. Michael Lynagh just missed that first shot at goal, has landed the ball since. 21-12. The All Blacks are breathing hard at this line-out. Just 2.5 minutes to go. Taken in by Earl. McDowell over the top. Basham. Fox. Innes. Kerwin in midfield. Gets away from Poitevin. Michael Jones on his shoulder. 45 metres out. Spinning again. Terry Wright up. Oh, he's hit a good tackle by Campese. The ball jolted away. Walter Little. Innes. Desperate situations mean desperate measures. Roebuck waiting. Cool and calm.
Yes, well, that's the game, isn't it, mate? It's an exciting finish. Just cannot win the ball, and didn't win enough. And Fox is going to blame himself, being the harsh taskmaster that he is, that he didn't kick those 2 penalties. But heavens, how many times has he done it for us in the past? Driving it back again.
Well, the Aussies are well and truly on top today. Well and truly on top, 21-9. The seconds tick away. There they are, the combination that's begun for Australia back in 84. Far Jones and Lynagh. A minute to go. Deep to Michael Jones. Earl. And Basham makes a little fumble, but there was a knock-on before that at line-out time, so Australia will play with the ball in the last seconds of the game. Well, New Zealand has given us tremendous victories over the years, so we've got to take the lumps, Earl Curtin.
No, that's true, but what a great game it's been. It's been competitive. And you have to say, well, the bounce did go Australia's way, but they've played well too.
Lynagh with the drop kick. Terry White plucks it down. Wright trying to build up from the back. Horan comes across. A late penalty for New Zealand. They're going to try and get some points. Are they in the last seconds of the game? The siren will go. Kerwin, the crowd is counting down to 0. It's going to be Australia one leg up in the Bledisloe Cup with a 21-12 scoreline, and this time it's against New Zealand. Basham, desperation in the last seconds of the game. A fumble. The game is over. It's the Australian arms that are raised in triumph. Alex Wiley heads for the dressing sheds. There it is, 21 points to 12. Australia, one up. But the second leg is to come in a fortnight in Auckland. Applause ringing around the stadium. Marvellous effort. There are some exhausted young athletes out there today, and the applause is warm and rich for two fine teams. But Nick Farr-Jones's Australian team have taken the kudos today by 21-12, and there is the New Zealand captain, gracious in defeat. A smile from Witten for Farr-Jones. What a day we've had, Earl.
It's a great day for football. Full stadium, marvellous stadium, great conditions, bounce the ball favouring Australia, and the fact that they won the line-outs, and they deserve to win. I doff my hat to them. Great performance.
Yeah, full marks Australia, 21 points to 12. That says it all. 2 tries to 1. The All Blacks had their opportunities. They made a few mistakes, but the Australians made their own luck today. Campo likes it. 21 points to 12. Australia one up in the Battle of the Bledisloe. Let's go to Peter Williams.
And I'm with a very disappointed New Zealand captain, Gary Witten. Gary, as Australia celebrate, as the Australian team go across to the far side of the field to thank their supporters, what have you got to say about today's disappointment?
It's a disappointment. You know, we thought we'd prepared well on that, and Australia were just too good on the day. You know, we started well. We let them in just near half-time, and the second half, the first 30 minutes, you know, was they shut us out, and they deserved their winner. They're rubbing in a bit now, and it's a bit hard to take.
All right, Gary Witten, perhaps we'll get some more from you later. We'll, for the moment, let you go to the dressing room and console your teammates.
Thanks, Peter.
Gary Witten, the very disappointed New Zealand captain. We'll take a break at the Sydney Football Stadium and return very soon. Stadium, and under the stand now we're joined by the All Black coach, Alex Wiley. Alex, 2 losses in a row to Australia now. I guess that must be a source of considerable disappointment. What do you think went wrong today?
Well, I think one of the main things, of course, we didn't win enough ball in line-out. We didn't compete there quite enough. And then in the middle, well, just after half-time, we started to knock on and we made many mistakes. Probably a bit of pressure came on, and that was the result. So, but as far as the other parts of it, there were still some parts of it that were good. We've got a lot to learn on, or to build on now. And the Australians are playing very well. They took it to us, and they got the tries.
And as far as that try that really sealed it, the one by Egerton, bit of bad luck perhaps as far as the bounce of the ball was concerned, but still Australia, as far as you're concerned, deserved the win? Well,
I mean, the bounce of the ball, when the team's playing well, quite often it'll go that way, and they're playing well. You know, we had our opportunities early on. We could have got into a bit of a lead, but it didn't come our way, and you know, that's it.
What is the mood now in the dressing room, bearing in mind that Australia have beaten Wales, England, now New Zealand? What are the guys, do you think, thinking at the moment? Are they absolutely shattered that, gee whiz, it's really hard?
Oh, no, I don't think the difference was that much, other than the fact that, as I say, we didn't take the opportunities, or we made mistakes when we had the opportunity to do something. But, you know, naturally they're a bit down. You've got to expect that, but they'll come back.
A fortnight's time would be a different story, huh?
Well, we would like to think so. That's what it's about. Good.
Alex Wiley, thank you very much. So a win to Australia in the first test.